Sometimes I receive a mysterious message that strikes a cosmic chord. It resonates in my background over time, gathering power and meaning, moving into my foreground, transposing itself from the key of bafflement up a step into curiosity, up another to intellectual understanding, modulating up and up, finally to embodied knowledge. I'm Rachel Schroeder, and today on Poetry Between Friends, Jason Howard, actor, fight choreographer, writer, director, producer, coder, driving enthusiast who enjoys working on engines as much as plays, and my dear friend, writers group compatriot, and collaborator since college, joins me to wax cosmic in our poems, Not Crumbs, and PeaSoupland, aka Couch Lounger Bingo. If you'd like to read along with us, you'll find our poems in the show notes. PeaSoupland, aka Couch Lounger Bingo, by Jason Howard. I saw this guy. He had no hair, no eyebrows, beard, or eyelashes. He was dressed in pea soup, chunky like, ham and green pea sashes. So I turned to the guy and I asked a simple question, and all he does is smile. I turned around to walk away, step on the edge, and hear him say, "Did you really talk to me this time?" I looked over my shoulder. Hey, 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 it was me, it was me. He talked the talk, convincing like, or so they say. So I did a flip and turned as well to prove myself he wasn't there. And I looked back and gone he was. But on his spot, a paper read, "Eating baby telephone wire, snorkeling in the rug. Parking in the ever after. Here's an all-night pass for after. My gears don't shift, but I've no worries. No place really to go. I'm a pea soup planet in a pea soup land. The squirrely weather won't get me low. I'm a planet. Clouds and all. Hot and cold, I'm hanging out. Looking at the stars around me, and I'm just floating, cruising 'bout. I'm a piece of dust in my dusty den, by the keyboard warm in the slanting sun, and I'm just floating, cruising space, just floating, cruising space." I dropped the paper and looked around, and there he was, my pea soup man, floating into the ever after, cruising into pea soup land. "Goodbye," I waved, and thanks for nothing, holding dear the things I read. "Happy cruising, pea soup man," not understanding a thing he said. "It's okay," he called to me, twisting in his Campbell's can. He knew I didn't get the drift. "You'll get it all in pea soup land, 'cause eating baby telephone wire, snorkeling in the rug, parking in the ever after, here's an all-night pass for after. My gears don't shift, but I've no worries, no place really to go. I'm a pea soup planet in a pea soup land. The squirrely weather won't get me low. I'm a planet, clouds and all. Hot and cold, I'm hanging out. Looking at the stars around me, and I'm just floating, cruising 'bout. Running lone with green peas, taxi trees, I'm spaced out with room to spare. Pages turned with greasy fingers, couch lounger bingo in very thin air. I'm a planet, clouds and all. Hot and cold, I'm hanging out. Looking at the stars around me, and I'm just floating, cruising 'bout. PeaSoupland." land. 'Land. 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 '
Not Crumbs by Rachel Schroeder. See how small we are. Tiny, frightened, yearning and regretting. We cry, we coo, expand, contract, throb and languish, longing for what we cannot have, bleeding for what we are and what we are not, always wishing to be different. We break and burst and harm and heal, greedy and generous, loving and spiteful. We're sweet and sour, jealous and joyful, proud and shy, ashamed and lonely, so utterly alone, groping into oblivion for a center we cannot hold. Center everywhere, circumference nowhere, he said. And still, amnesia descends and descends like heavy, wet, deep winter snow, a merciless, merciful blanket, dulling the slate clean again and again, snuffing us out and bringing us back. Who am I? The mantra creeps into our consciousness and burrows into our inner ear, where it remains holed up, lifetime after lifetime, repeating itself, barely audibly, but impossibly persistently, like an astral earworm, echoing inside incarnations of breath, sacred memory withheld by its source, taunting us home with crumbs of us, pieces and parts. No, we must not take the bait. We are not crumbs, not part. We are whole. Whole body, whole family, family of bodies, community of families, ecosystems of communities, planet of ecosystems, constellations of planets, galaxy of constellations, universe of galaxies, multiverse of universes, all dreamed into being by our own mind, set aflutter by the first beat of cosmic heart. This is who we are.
That was beautiful. I really enjoyed hearing that. Thank you.
And I really enjoyed hearing you read mine. That was super fun.
Yeah, so what was that like for you?
It was just fantastic hearing your voice, right? I mean, you've got such a, aside from the great tone, just a fun interpretation.
Yeah, I have to come clean. I was a little bit nervous about doing this.
Yes.
I mean, because I've heard the recording of you doing it a few times.
Right.
So first I got this shaker to, like do beat poetry, man. So I'm like playing around with it. And then Danny even heard me, but he was like, I would do it more simply. So then yesterday I was doing a deeper dive and I was like, Laurie Anderson. That was my key in.
Right. I mean, that's storytelling.
Yeah. I was like, thank you, Laurie Anderson. And then I realized, just do it simple, man.
Yeah, it was a great interpretation.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed hearing you do Not Crumbs. I've never heard anybody else do it.
Okay.
A, because it's in your voice, because I love you.
I love you too.
And there's just, an extra warmth when somebody close to you reads something you've written.
Yeah.
And given that we've known each other for so many years in so many different ways, there's an added gravitas, in like a really beautiful way.
Well, it's also a fun way of playing with that idea of who am I? And even the title, Not Crumbs, is a fun play on the reverse of what you aren't rather than what you are. So it's a struggle to try to describe what we are in the universe. And it's kind of the theme, the cosmic.
Yeah, exactly. And thinking about that more, you and I actually know each other in a lot of different ways.
It's true.
We go back to college, to Brandeis University in the theater department. And were you a science major or econ or?
I was econ. I started in chemistry and did a heck of a lot of theater.
Yeah, I mean, we were in Into the Woods together
That's right.
and
Yeah,
working.
we had Baker and Baker's wife.
We did.
Yeah, we even took a night of baking some bread.
We did.
A little bit of Meisner. The bread came out great, if I
It
remember right.
did. So going back to the origin of your poem, I believe you first brought it into a writers group that we were both in. And usually, when we would bring work in, we would ask the writer what kind of feedback they wanted. And in this case, if I recall correctly, I believe you didn't want feedback. You just wanted to share it. And actually, I'm so glad that's what you did, because I kind of feel like that's what the piece is saying, taking things on their own terms without analyzing too much, enjoying life, enjoying the experience without taking it apart on its own merit. And I'm wondering about the origin of this poem for you.
Huh. Well, I mean, I remember I wrote it when I was on the subway. I don't remember where I was going, but the origin of the poem, I was dealing with a lot of kind of rhythmic songwriting at the time. And the song really came out of the people I was looking at, some ideas of thinking about some people in my family that like to kind of espouse very strange philosophies and keep going on, and that are sometimes the challenges of communicating or miscommunicating or really believing or not believing. I mean, that's kind of more where this piece is for me, because, is this dude that's supposedly from this very strange place, talking all kinds of what seems like nonsense. But I mean, he's trying to give good advice, I guess. But the person listening, me, doesn't get it, right? What the fuck are you talking about? It's this divide between brains, between people, yeah.
Yeah. I'm so interested in what you said about that he's trying to give good advice, right? And that, we're talking about cosmology today and
Sure.
also messages, right?
Yeah.
So messages and where they're coming from. First of all, the impossibility of a pea soup man, someone who's made of pea soup, or perhaps he's just dressed in it. That's also questionable. I have to admit, I did wonder, did this come out of a trip?
I don't think so. I just think I let my mind go, and it just wherever it went, wherever it arrived. There were certainly drugs involved at that time of life, for sure.
Yeah.
Was I on drugs on that particular subway ride? I mean, it's possible, for sure, but I don't know. I don't know. And I look at the piece now, and yeah, where it came from. It grew in some strange garden in a corner of my brain.
Yeah, no, I love that. But yeah, coming back to this, the message given and then how it's received or what's received. What's fascinating is, as a listener or reader, yeah, at first the message is totally inscrutable, like eating baby telephone wires. And I was like, is there a hidden message? Am I missing something? And I'm like, well, if I am, I just don't get it. And I figured, okay, as the reader and interpreting it, I figured, okay, I think the woman or the person, sorry, the poet reading
Sure.
this does not understand that. That was the choice I made. But what was interesting is then snorkeling in the rug. You can almost understand that. You can picture it.
Yes.
And you know what it means. And even, I feel like in the world of the absurd or like a Dali painting, it would totally make sense.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
And then as it goes on, it makes more and more sense. Like my gears don't shift, but that's okay. Like I have nowhere to go, That actually does mean something. And I feel like the more it goes, the more he's saying towards the end, let me just pull it up here. He says, I'm a planet. Like you're everything in a way, or a big deal, right? If you're a planet. But then in 2 lines later, he's saying, I'm a piece of dust in my dusty den by the keyboard. That it's
kind of the opposite.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like actually there's deep wisdom in that. Maybe he's Buddhist or a yogi.
I had a friend back then, I don't remember her name. She declared herself a nation. And so she was going through paperwork to declare her body, her corporal being as an individual nation. And so that's kind of the idea of I'm a planet, I'm a planet. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
so it's
Like
just about
that's...
what encompasses an entire being or an entire universe.
Wait, this, you just blew my mind. So what happened with that? Did she...
I don't know how far she went with paperwork and how seriously she took it. I mean, it was a kind of a big joke for her. It was, just a very big social commentary.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, that was also probably part of that reflection.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And
That's
by the way,
amazing.
my dad worked at Campbell's Soup Factory when he was a kid.
Aha.
And my brother-in-law likes to call the weather squirrely. So some of these things, like I said, came from parts of family.
love this.
And also, my dad is kind of like a sage. And not to say he's PeaSoupland at all, but the idea of this kind of a guru sage giving, living in the Campbell's can, giving advice on how to unite with the universe or how to be happy.
Yeah.
That's kind of the essence of the song. Maybe it comes from inspiration from my father.
Wow. Has he heard this
I don't think
or
so.
read it?
No, it's not his thing. He wouldn't.
You don't think he would be honored if he knew that he inspired it?
I'm not sure he directly inspired it. It might have been more the drugs on the subway at the time.
Or your friend who was declaring herself a planet.
Yeah.
No, but I really appreciate too how it seems to embrace the absurdity and the meaninglessness of life, but also the beauty in it and the fact that, like, hey, it's okay. It doesn't all have to make sense. We can still have fun.
Well, and it's the same thing about the way I look at religion and a lot of the doctrines that are dictated and espoused. There's that word again. But you listen to some of the traditions of lots of different religions or different religions that we're all familiar with. And some of the things just sound friggin' crazy. You're just wacky off the, like, how did you come up with that? How is that a rule? How is that a tradition? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
And so that's also what this is this PeaSoupland is telling these suggestions, and they're nuts. They're off the wall. So it is a bit of a critique of religious stance. And your piece.
Oh,
Not
well,
Crumbs.
wait, we can come back because there was something else I had
Okay.
in mind and I don't want to forget it. What was it?
Something very important.
Since you brought up Not Crumbs, I just want to kind of look a little bit at, there are similarities and contrasts, and sometimes there's both in one concept.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, for instance, they're both dealing with what I would call kind of an existentiality, which
Sure.
isn't really a word, but existence, And I feel like PeaSoupland, the poet is involved with who is PeaSoupman and what is he saying? Is there meaning? And Not Crumbs is more interested in who am I? Who are we? And that just kind of struck me that they're on the same subject, but from a different POV.
Sure.
And that POV thing too, after hearing...
Point of view for those who are not familiar.
Oh, yes, thank you. After we hear the end of PeaSoupland, and then we start with Not Crumbs, it's almost like Not Crumbs could be from PeaSoupman's perspective, because it starts with, see how small we are.
Yeah.
And he's just floated off
it's
towards
true.
PeaSoupland, right?
Yeah.
So like he's looking back at us, and that really delighted me.
Huh. That's true. The POV does kind of, one spins from the other.
Right?
Yeah.
And I also noticed that whereas Not Crumbs is yearning for clarity and integration, I think, it seems like PeaSoupland is accepting and even relishing the mystery and the absurdity.
Beauty of the mystery, I guess, as you said.
I noticed too that the poet asks PeaSoupman a question at the top. And we don't even know what the simple question is, but a simple question, it's not answered. Then the poet gets a message that's inscrutable, as we talked about, and then doesn't ask any more questions. But this was the thing that really struck me, that the poet says thanks for nothing, but then holds dear the things that he read. So it seems to me that although there may not be intellectual understanding, there is an intuitive knowledge of the wisdom of PeaSoupman's words. And that this is sometimes the way in life, that mystery pulls us forward.
Call it strategic ambiguity.
Oh, I like that. Where did that come from?
Taiwan.
Taiwan?
Yeah. The U.S. stance towards Taiwan.
Oh.
Strategic ambiguity. I think that's the right term.
That is so poetic. Those diplomats. The poet seems to be content with PeaSoupland telling him he'll understand in the future when he gets to PeaSoupland. It's like the poem is embracing, again, the weird and the wonderful and the absurd, saying, regardless of meaning, whether it all makes sense somewhere someday, enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Well, but then Not Crumb also goes there saying, who are we? And acknowledging that you can't hold on to the understanding, but then it kind of bending toward keep fighting, keep trying to understand. Don't give up. So there's that also, the opposites happening in your piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
Contrasts in life.
Well, I was interested in your piece also, the references to the universal or to the cosmic, things like where you reference lifetime after lifetime, where the mantra creeps into our consciousness. And it does point to the larger organism that humans are, not individuals, but a larger being in the cosmic sense. And then also the idea of surviving, and still amnesia descends and descends, where we have an intentional evolution of, what's the right word, of naivete, of ignorance, in order to survive. In other words, we can't remember all the things that pain us in the next generation, or we wouldn't want to live, right? The things that we struggle with.
Yeah.
So we've evolved to forget the suffering in order to hope for the next life after life, lifetime after lifetime.
Yeah.
Repeating itself barely audibly.
Yeah. And like you say, to keep trying, because I think despair could easily set in if we remembered all the terrible things, all the painful things.
Right. Yeah, you use the expression merciless, merciful blanket, and it's both those things. There's that antithesis.
Yeah.
And it is both a mercy and merciless.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, merciless, because if we could remember who and what we really are, like in our everyday lives when we're going through the stresses of, all the lifey stuff.
Yeah. Forest for the trees. You just keep banging into trees every second.
Yeah. Like if we could actually remember who and what we are, maybe there'd be a lot less banging against those trees or branches.
More and less impactful at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had written a note when I was working on your piece that I just love that expression, a merciless, merciful blanket, dulling the slate clean. And groping into oblivion for a center we cannot hold. That really did speak to me.
Yeah, I could hear when you read it, because it really landed.
Yeah. It's funny also with the title, when you say not crumbs, it's protesting too much, right? We are crumbs. No, we're not, specifically emphasizing the opposite.
Well, it's a little like PeaSoupland, like we're the speck of dust and we're a planet. Well, actually, multiverse of galaxies or universes.
Right. Exactly.
We're all of it.
Yeah. And then it's all relative, of course.
Yeah.
Right. The dust or the planet, same thing.
Totally. So do you want to hear about where this came from?
I'd love to.
Or do you remember by any chance? Because I think you might have experienced this before.
I'm intrigued that I might know.
Yeah.
I know, I want to hear.
Well, so it comes from the play Tumbling the Rough that I'm still working on, which I was working on. I mean, although I'm on hiatus at the moment.
Okay.
We need a break from each other.
Yes. That happens.
But I was working on it in our writers group. And that is dialogue from the play.
Huh.
There are two characters at one point, they're almost like on the astral plane for a moment, or just sort of like time out of time, looking back on the action of what's going on. So that piece does deal with reincarnation a bit.
Okay.
And these two characters that in some way find themselves slipping into past incarnations in which they were locked in conflict. And so this is a moment where they are completely tuned into their soul selves, the part that is eternal, that is not bound by any incarnation or time. And so they are suspended above the physical action. and they're looking down, and this is what they say.
Huh.
But they say it as dialogue. And it came out, and there was a friend of mine from Brazil who I actually went to mime school with a million years ago. And he was producing an online festival, and he had seen me chanting online. And he asked if I would be part of it and do the chants. And I was like, sure. I'm like, and I think he said it was like a poetry was part of it. And I said, I could also do a poem if you want me to. And I realized, I think, that could live on its own as its own poem.
Huh.
And
it does.
That's where it came from.
Cool.
Yeah. And the play definitely is fairly existential, and the main character is wrestling with her purpose in the world and her value, what value she has. So again, it ties into our conversation about, are we a planet or a speck of dust? Or, well, I think we're all of it.
We're both.
Yeah. And on that note, shall we read our own poems?
Let's do it.
Not Crumbs. See how small we are. Tiny, frightened, yearning and regretting. We cry, we coo, expand, contract, throb and languish, longing for what we cannot have, bleeding for what we are and what we are not, always wishing to be different. We break and burst and harm and heal, greedy and generous, loving and spiteful. We're sweet and sour, jealous and joyful, proud and shy, ashamed and lonely, so utterly alone, groping into oblivion for a center we cannot hold. Center everywhere, circumference nowhere, he said. And still, amnesia descends and descends like heavy, wet, deep winter snow. A merciless, merciful blanket, dulling the slate clean, again and again, snuffing us out and bringing us back. Who am I? The mantra creeps into our consciousness and burrows into our inner ear, where it remains holed up, lifetime after lifetime, repeating itself barely audibly, but impossibly persistently, like an astral earworm, echoing inside incarnations of breath. Sacred memory withheld by its source, taunting us home with crumbs of us, pieces and parts. No, we must not take the bait. We are not crumbs, not part. We are whole. Whole body, whole family, family of bodies, community of families, ecosystem of communities, planet of ecosystems, constellation of planets, galaxy of constellations, universe of galaxies, multiverse of universes, all dreamed into being by our own mind, set aflutter by the first beat of cosmic heart. This is who we are.
PeaSoupland, aka Couch Lounger Bingo, by me. I saw this guy. He had no hair, no eyebrows, beard, or eyelashes. He was dressed in pea soup, chunky-like, ham and green pea sashes. So I turned to the guy and I asked a simple question, and all he did was smile. I turned around to walk away. I stepped on the edge and I heard him say, "Did you really talk to me this time?" I looked over my shoulder. Hey, 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 it was me, he talked the talk, convincing like, or so they say. So I did a flip and turned as well to prove myself he wasn't there. And I looked back and he was gone, but on his spot, a paper read, "Eating baby telephone wires, snorkeling in the rug, parking in the ever after. Hey, here's an all-night pass for after. My gears don't shift, but I've no worries, no place really to go. I'm a pea soup planet in a pea soup land. The squirrely weather won't get me low. I'm a planet, clouds and all, hot and cold, I'm hanging out, looking at the stars around me, and I'm just floating, cruising about. I'm a piece of dust in my dusty den by the keyboard, warm in the slanting sun, and I'm just floating, cruising space, just floating, cruising space." I dropped the paper and looked around, and there he was, my pea soup man, floating into the ever after, cruising into PeaSoupland. "Goodbye," I waved, and thanks for nothing, holding dear the things I'd read. "Happy cruising, pea soup man," not understanding a single thing he said. "It's okay," he called to me, twisting in his Campbell's can. He knew I didn't get the gist. "You'll get it all in PeaSoupland, 'cause eating baby telephone wires, snorkeling in the rug, parking in the ever after. Hey, here's an all-night pass for after. My gears don't shift, but I've no worries, no place really to go. I'm a pea soup planet in a pea soup land. The squirrely weather won't get me low. I'm a planet, clouds and all, hot and cold, I'm hanging out, looking at the stars around me, and I'm just floating, cruising about. Running lone with green pea taxi trees, I'm spaced out with room to spare. Pages turned with greasy fingers, I'm a couch lounger bingo in very thin air. I'm a planet, clouds and all, hot and cold, I'm hanging out, looking at the stars around me, and I'm just floating, cruising about PeaSoupland.
Poetry Between Friends is produced by Rachel Schroeder. Music composed, produced, and performed by Andrew Vevers. Sound engineering by Revision Sound. Cover art by Matthew Warren Lane. This episode was recorded in New York City on unceded Lenape land. It was engineered, edited, and mixed in Louisville, Texas on Humanos and Kickapoo land. To learn more about Jason Howard, visit jasonhoward.org. If you like what you heard, subscribe and share on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you listen. Visit us on Facebook and on Instagram at poetry_between_friends. Find the poems, read along, and join the conversation at poetrybetweenfriends.substack.com. And if you feel inspired, leave us a voice memo on our Spotify page. We'd love to hear from you. Hello. Okay, awesome. Whew. What did I just do with my readers?
On your face.
That's my favorite.